It was great from start to finish. Number 2, I would have put Suicide Machines.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, what's that one called even? Bullying Blue, that album. Oh God,
Yeah.
I'm so embarrassed. So it's actually funny. We had 2 Suicide Machine songs in the documentary,
Yeah.
A Revolution Spring. And that's because they actually reached out to us personally and asked if we could add one of the songs to.
Right.
So that was real cool. Like one, so you know, we did have New Girl, but then we also had one from the new album in the movie. And then number 1 would have to be Goldfinger, Never Look Back.
Oh yeah. That one was good. That was good. You know what? I haven't listened to that all the way through, but I've definitely like, you know, been keeping up with all the updates and stuff. I got to listen to that one, man. I got to listen to a lot of that stuff.
Dude, we're really good friends with Goldfinger. So we try to kind of co-release the film with the album and kind of even have like them play for, you know, we were actually going to do a theatrical release originally where they would play live in all the theaters, but obviously because of COVID, that didn't happen. But so we keep very close touch with Goldfinger. So, I mean, I did listen to the album, I think a few weeks before it came out, and man, it was freaking nuts how good it was. So
yeah. Are you jamming with any bands in your area, man? Are you starting any projects coming up, or are you planning to?
Not really, man. I mean, I played with I don't know if you've seen it. It's funny. There's a Tony Hawk's Pro Skater cover band in LA called Down. Yeah. Oh, you know, sorry, I just heard you mention them. Yeah. No, I jam with them occasionally when I'm over in LA. You know, so they're fun. They're a really fun band. Have you seen them live, or do you know those guys, or?
So in all honesty, like in LA, there's a big underground like punk scene and ska scene, like Compton, South Central, East LA. It's located everywhere there. And I've actually never seen Downhill Jam at those shows. I've only seen them announce shows at like venues that they rent out. And so I've never actually gone to those shows.
Yeah, but it's probably true. Yeah.
But I've seen their, like, I follow them on Instagram, and I've seen that they've played like competitions, like skate competitions.
Yeah.
You know, I remember even like I follow Suicidal Tendencies, and even like one of them was like standing behind them at a show while they were playing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I haven't seen them live yet, but definitely want to, you know, especially, you know, once shows start happening again, you know, because I think that's a good idea, you know, having a cover band that plays Tony Hawk soundtracks, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's really an idea now with the new games coming out. Now you can play more songs because, you know, you can't really play that many otherwise. But now there's a whole lot of them because, you know, people only really recognize songs up until 4. After that, it's kind of like, you know, they did play No Effects Separation Church of Skate because El Jefe was at the show. So yeah. But it, you know, that was kind of it really right there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you like, because I know you're a ska fan, but how are you like in terms of like reggae and like rocksteady? Are you tapped into those scenes as well?
Not as much, I have to admit, not as much. You know, I just got into reggae a little because I just saw this film by there's this director, I don't know if you know, Steve McQueen, who he did 12 Years a Slave, and this year he did a TV show that's which is sort of movies, really. It's 5 movies about like black people in London during different time periods. And one of them is actually, it's just a movie it's just a party where they play reggae for like 70 minutes. I think you'd love it if you like reggae. So I really got into reggae now because of the movie, but I haven't listened too much, I have to admit, to those genres. It's mainly ska punk, you know, that's kind of where I don't want to say my roots because that sounds cheesy, but you know, where that's my go-to genre, you know. Yeah,
definitely. You know, what I found when I talk to different bands and just different people is every city has its own local ska scene that hangs on to it. Yeah. And so I'm happy about that. You know, another thing that I found is every scene has like a punk scene that accepts ska bands. You know, I interview a lot of people from like Mexico and Chile, and I interview some people from Colombia as well. And one thing that I noticed about the countries in Latin America is the ska and the reggae scenes are kind of like more purist. Like ska bands stick to ska and like reggae sticks to reggae. But I don't know, maybe you can tell me about how it is in Stockholm or just Sweden in general. For me, like, here in Cali, everyone kind of like accepts each other. Like the punk bands have no problem playing with reggae and ska bands, you know, and vice versa. How is it?
I don't know, man. I just don't think that whole kind of thing about local bands, it's just not a really big thing in Sweden. First of all, because, you know, as you probably know or may know, you know, a lot of the most popular music in the world is produced by, like, I don't know if you know Max Martin, who's essentially he's written every single hit that's ever come out, pretty much. Like every Backstreet Boys songs, everything, that's him. right there. And I feel like the whole music scene is so there's not really that whole underground punk scene. I mean, there is for sure, but it's not really that big it's not a big deal. So I can't really tell you if but I guess people are really accepting in a way. But the whole thing about going out and kind of supporting your local band, that's just not really a thing in Stockholm, which is real unfortunate because I love that stuff. But yeah, and also in Sweden, there really hasn't been any ska punk bands. There's been maybe two, and the most famous ska punk song ever is one you may have heard of. It's "The Strike" by Millencolin. So
Nice.
Millencolin actually started out as kind of a ska punk band, and "The Strike" is one of those songs that people refer to when it's like the best ska punk song from a non-ska punk band. That's "The Strike" by Millencolin. Yeah.
You gave me your top 3 albums. Is there any maybe top 5 or top 3 groups, ska groups of any category that you would say?
I mean, it's probably going to be boring, and half of the listeners are probably going to be like, "What? That's not ska." Because my number one is definitely it's that band that everybody keeps saying it's not ska, but I would argue. But my top 5, I mean, it would definitely be like Goldfinger, Mad Caddies, NoFX. That's one of them, and Goldfinger, Mad Caddies, NoFX, Less Than Jake, and finally Streetlight Manifesto. So, and that's one of them that people kind of go like, "Oh, well, that's not ska." And I guess in a way they're right, but in a way, I also think I also don't really think it's something that needs to be argued about. I just like that there's horns in the band. That's freaking awesome. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely not. It's definitely not a huge, point of argument. I personally feel like they are ska, but I've definitely come across people that don't think so. So,
Yeah, I mean, I can see why, because they have a lot, because Thomas Kalanski is from Eastern Europe. Most of his influence on later albums are very kind of Baltic and stuff like that. I can definitely see why it's not Jamaican or anything like that. But I just think it's kind of like. I don't think people have to be so elitist about a genre that isn't that popular, so it's
very true.
Yeah, I just hope everybody gets along instead,
Oh yeah. Icebears4ever.
Yeah.
Sure. Thank you. Seriously. Thank you, bro. Hoping to see more work from you in the future, man. Is there anything we can plug? Any upcoming films that you're working on or upcoming projects?
Just a few upcoming ones now. I'll keep you posted. Yeah, it's nothing I can talk about right now, but it'll be announced very soon. So yeah, you follow me on Instagram, I'll follow you. So we'll keep in touch with that, man.
Yeah. I'll definitely keep my ear out for any announcements. I'll make sure to post them. Thanks, man.
Thank you too, man. Have a good one.
All right, man. Have a good one.
I want to go ahead and give a big thank you to my guest today, Ludvig Gür. Make sure you watch Pretending I'm a Superman by heading to THPSfilm.com. Another big thank you, of course, to all the pro skaters and the Nevertsoft team for the memories they've instilled in all of us. And lastly, a shout out to you, the listener, for checking out the SKA CAST. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. See you on the next one. Peace.